In our morning rounds, fresh advice on fish. The federal government says women who are pregnant or breastfeeding aren't eating enough seafood. 21% of expecting moms don't eat any.
These are the first new guidelines in a decade. They recommend 8 to 12 ounces a week for those women and young children, too. That's 2 to 3 servings. But because of the mercury levels, some fish are off limits. Dr. Rebecca Brightman is Assistant Clinical Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York City. That's a big one. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
I like your title.
Thank
you. All
you.
right. So what are the fish that, why is it important for pregnant women to eat the fish?
Well, it's really important for women to have fish, and in the past we've typically warned women there's certain fish to avoid. We've told them they can have fish, but we've never encouraged it. So the interesting thing that's now developed, the FDA and the EPA have come out with recommendations that women should actually make sure they have fish, and they should have 8 to 12 ounces of fish per week.
Because what does it do for you?
The fish that they're recommending women have contain omega-3 fatty acids, and they're very important for fetal brain development, cognitive development, development of vision, and things like that.
I think this is so critically important because brain development is one of the most important things in young children. It will stay with them for the rest of their life. And fish is the best source for these omega fatty acids, right?
Absolutely. Fish is fantastic. It's a great source of lean protein and other nutrients as well. So I think it's just a super food for women to have, and I think they should incorporate it in their diet.
And young children, too, this FDA recommendation.
Recommendation for young children, and really adults and individuals of all ages, because there's so many healthy benefits.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we need?
So the recommendation is, in pregnancy, 8 to 12 ounces of fish per week.
What kind?
These fish should include very common fish, salmon, shrimp, pollock, cod, for example, and there's a whole list on the FDA website. There are fish we encourage women to avoid during pregnancy, and those fish include typically king mackerel, shark, tilefish, and swordfish.
Mm-hmm. And that's because those are high in mercury. We've got them on the screen right now. What does mercury do that's dangerous for the child?
Mercury is a known neurotoxin, so in excessive quantities. I mean, if a woman has a little tuna, which is actually fine, a small tuna sandwich is fine during the course of the week, but if they have excessive amounts of mercury, mercury acts as a neurotoxin, so it can impair the developing brain of a fetus or of a young child.
Is Dover sole with Menuera sauce on the list?
Oh, boy, I think it's on the okay list.
No,
I hope so.
No, I love Dover sole with Menuera. But you're specifically talking about pregnant women and children, and you mentioned briefly, shouldn't we all be eating more fish?
We all should, and I think it's really important to realize, and I think really more attention has been placed on the fact that omega-3s are important to incorporate in our diet. Omega-3s have cardioprotective effects. They impact mood. They can improve skin and almost every organ system, including vision.
Thank you, Dr. Brightman.
Thank you.
We're all fish lovers here, right?
Indeed.
Me too.
We like our vision. Yeah. Thanks.